Welcome to the Wealth Transfer with TC. Today I'm going to be talking about the prophetic coin Shiba Inu, and one of the questions is, should we continue to buy Shiba Inu even though you may have already reached your goal? And also I'm going to talk about a little bit about the profit aspect to when Shiba Inu does reach $1. Right, because I do believe in the two prophetic waves that Maria Conwell was talking about. The first wave is $1, the second wave is $13. And so I believe that it's very possible that this is going to happen, the first wave this year when it comes to Shiba Inu. God is using Shiba Inu to bless his people and to bless his church. And I believe that we're going to see that dollar this year, even if it takes to the very end of the year. Now, first, before I get started, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just sharing information, giving you my thoughts and my opinions on that information. Now, really quick, Bitcoin is at $67,302. We know that earlier in the week that Bitcoin had reached its all-time high, surpassed it by just a little bit, above 69,000, and then it dropped down to 61,500. You know, whatever the case, people taking profits. All right, so those are things that you are going to see on its way up to 100,000. So I don't want people to get too discouraged about this, but I also want you people to stay rooted and grounded. Now, currently, Shiba Inu is at 403104, and you know, folks, it's up like 200-300% over the last 90 days, and it's sitting at 403105. One of the things is, do we keep buying it? We're expecting it to go to a penny. We're expecting it to go to $1. And I think that, you know, our overall strategy is we should continue to buy Shiba Inu, even if you've already reached your goal. I reached my goal. I recently put in another $100. But I think in order to help Shiba Inu get to that point, I think that we should be investing in Shiba Inu all the way up until it does reach that point where it does hit that first milestone, which is a penny. Right, and I think once it hits that penny, I think it could take off to $1 pretty easy. Because obviously there's going to be some things that happen. There might be some important news that comes out. Elon Musk might say that him and Vitalik Buterin created Shiba Inu, and this thing could skyrocket. That's something that could happen, right? And those are all things that we have discussed before. And, you know, we look at different pricing points, and, you know, it just recently reached at this first pricing point, right? But it didn't go up to 0.00084. So maybe the next time it does reach, it's going to go up to that point and then drop, right? And then we have another pricing point of 0.00014, and then 0.00028, 0.0005, and then from there 0.0048. So I believe that it can knock off those zeros pretty quick. And I think that one of the reasons why is because while they are burning and promoting and everything else with Shiba Inu, the church and those people that are waiting for those prophecies to be fulfilled is to continue to buy Shiba Inu on its way up. So when you see a major dip, like what happened at Bitcoin, that's when we need to pick up Shiba Inu, because Shiba Inu eventually is going to come down from that. When Bitcoin did drop down from 69,000 to 61,500, we did see the drop from 4045 down to 4027. So that was a pretty big dip for Shiba Inu too as well. Could have went down even further if Bitcoin hadn't recovered. But, you know, these are the times when you want to put into Shiba Inu during those dips. If we see, let's say, Bitcoin go up to 75,000 and then it drops down to 69,000, it's going to affect the whole market. So what are you going to do? You're going to pick up some more Shiba Inu, or however you're led to pick up Shiba Inu. Maybe you're on a weekly or bi-weekly cycle where you're buying, you know, certain coins, and Shiba Inu is just part of it. So now I just want to show you people, because this is important about Shiba Inu in the future and what we're expecting. And a lot of people have missed out. A lot of people have made a lot of accusations about all the prophecies that I've shown about Shiba Inu, about it going to $1 and $13. All right, so I have this Shiba Inu profit calculator, and I want to show you guys where $20 and where $100 is going to bring you when we start actually dropping these zeros. I believe that if we are to reach $1 this year in the first wave, you're going to see how beneficial this is going to be for you, and why it's important that I think that we should keep on investing in Shiba Inu until we start seeing those prices, right? Because eventually there's going to be a lot of FOMO. The world is going to start to get into this coin, and it's going to push this coin up, and then something's going to happen at some point where this coin gets knocked down, whether it's through a flash crash. If you actually believe that Shiba Inu is going to reach $1 in this first wave, even a penny, right, you're still going to do very well either way. So let's just say you put in $20 as your investment, and it drops 1-0, right? That $20 is now $200. All right, let's say it drops another 0. That $20 is now $2,000, right? That's just from dropping 2 zeros. So then with that $20, let's say it does reach that penny. Well, your $20 is $6,451. All right, and within the first wave, let's say it does reach that dollar. It's $645,000 with a $20 investment in the Shiba Inu, right? So if you've already reached your goal, it's not going to hurt you to keep putting in $20 here and $20 there. With some of these different pricing points, you might want to buy extra just to play around with, right? Because I don't plan on selling at these very low prices because I don't know what's going to take place or what's going to happen. I have to make sure that, I don't make any major mistakes like selling everything off because I think it's going to hit one of these pricing points and then go back down. Doing it at $100, right? I just recently purchased some more Shiba Inu at $100, right? So let's say it drops down 1-0, that $100 is now $1,000, right? If it drops another 0, that $100 is now $10,000, right? Now, if it does drop to a penny, that $100 is now $32,000. So that investment at $100 is $3.22 million, right? I believe that it can reach that point this year. And so even if it just reaches a penny this year, that's fine. People will still make a lot of money. But I think that if we are to accept that this is the first wave, right, and that it's going to reach that dollar, then we should do what we can to continue to push that price up. Folks, it's with everything that's going on with Shibarium, I know that there's going to be some major announcements coming up soon. There's some prophetic things that were spoken that I'm waiting to happen this year, that were spoken this year, that I'm waiting to happen this year. And make room for extra Shiba Inu that you can try to play around with when it comes to some of these pricing points that we have been hearing about. Now, all these pricing points doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to sell at all those different points. Some coins take some time to reach that from a penny to $1, and I don't know how long it's going to take, right? It could take 3 months, and there's going to be plenty of opportunities to sell and to buy back in. But I do know that there's a lot of people that are waiting for Shiba Inu to hit that penny to sell and take profit. And most definitely when people reach that dollar mark, that people will be selling for sure, right? Just to take profit because they've been waiting. Just like us, we've been waiting. And when it comes to Shiba Inu, there has been a lot of lack of faith when it comes to this coin. I received the comments. I look at comments from videos from a year ago that people are still commenting on, or even 2 years ago, and they laugh and they say, where's my money? How come the prophecy hasn't come to pass yet? All these people are false prophets or false dreamers or whatever the case. Those are things that I see. And I'm like, okay, your faith, right? Nobody's put a timestamp on when these things are going to happen except for a bunch of fools. But generally, the people that I share on this channel, or the people that I discuss on this channel, whether some of the prophecies that I've shared, are not putting a time frame on when this is supposed to occur. And Shiba Inu was one of those coins that, it wasn't moving when everything else was moving. And so there's delay that happens with Shiba Inu, and you know what? I'm fine with it. It's not like I'm selling now and making millions of dollars off of Shiba Inu because I'm waiting for it to get to a certain point. And I think that whole ecosystem that under Shibarium and all the different coins that are part of that is just going to create multi-millionaires. And Shiba Inu is one of those coins. But I do believe that this year we will see the first wave. So there's this last prophetic dream I want to talk about. It comes from Claudia back in January of 2022. This has to do with Shiba Inu and XLM and XRP. but mainly I'm focusing on Shiba. Now, this dream here, she has it written out here on this side, and on this other side, she has this ladder where she's staying on top, pouring money over Shiba, XLM, and it's trickling down to XRP and so on. Over here, there's a bubble that says that will never happen. Dissenting voices right over here on the left-hand side next to her as she's pouring these funds into these different cryptocurrencies. Right? She said, I was teaching my eldest son about crypto. Then suddenly I began to hear dissenting voices mockingly saying, that will never happen. Then I saw 3 giant coins, one on top of the other. First was Shiba Inu, then XLM, and last was XRP. I believed that there were others below, but I couldn't see their names. I had a huge bucket and was at the top of a massive ladder. I then took the bucket and poured an enormous amount of wealth into Shiba Inu, which then caused a domino effect. The wealth then poured into Stellar and finally XRP, all for the kingdom, Claudia. All right, so she's up here on top of this ladder, and there are people that are saying that will never happen. Now, I've heard this many times. As many videos as I've done, a lot of times when I post other people's prophecies, some people come and say that will never happen. And they usually say that about like the flash crash. They say that like about the dinar. They say it about Shiba Inu going to $1, right? And many other prophetic things that are supposed to take place within this bull run or within the wealth transfer. So one of the things that I was thinking was that when people say that will never happen, we talked about the flash crash and maybe the dinar, or this could actually be the second wave. When Maria Conwell talked about Shiba Inu will reach $1 and then $13, and maybe we've reached that $1 mark. The markets have already come down. Then we're pouring all this money into these cryptocurrencies. The first one here is Shiba Inu, right? She had a huge bucket with massive finances pouring into Shiba Inu, which caused a domino effect, which then poured into XLM and then XRP, all right, and then some other coins. Now, there are several other people who have talked about this, having a similar dreams like this. I know that Christopher Harris did, but he had a slightly different cryptos. I think one of them was Shiba Inu, and Johnny Currency 365 also saw something similar to this too as well. Right, so the first wave has happened, right, and then she has all this wealth, all the markets are down, and she puts all this money into Shiba, XLM, XRP, and so on. Right, so those are some of the possibilities. So sometimes we have to go back and revisit some of these dreams to get a better understanding, because sometimes, especially when I first started out, anytime somebody had a dream, I was like, okay, this is getting ready to happen. Even though there was no date or time frame, we kind of think that things are going to happen sooner than what they actually are. And one of the things was, and I was thinking about this, dealing with Ethereum. There is an Ethereum upgrade that is happening on the 13th. It's going to cause the Ethereum gas fees to go down. And, it makes me think about, people have said, the wealth transfer is delayed and all these things. Well, think about it. If some of these wealth transfer things happen while gas fees are super high and you're trying to cash out of certain coins, they're going to take a whole bunch. I mean, there have been people that have lost money in Ethereum gas fees when cashing out because they were so ridiculously high at the time they put it through. Right, and so that's one reason why I don't think the wealth transfer was actually delayed. I think there's a time when God is going to have it, and all these events have to take place in order for us to benefit from this wealth transfer. It's just like not all the hedge funds and market makers that they weren't into Bitcoin. They weren't pouring billions of dollars into Bitcoin like they are now. So how can it be delayed? How can you transfer something when it's not there? And guess what? And more businesses, corporations, hedge funds, market makers, they're all getting into cryptocurrency right now. So that had to take place too as well. So that's one reason why I don't think the wealth transfer has ever been delayed. And to me, there's still some things that have to be done in the markets before this happens. So this all remains to be seen. For all we know, that there's a flash crash that's caused with this Ethereum upgrade. Just like we thought it could have happened before, some people had prophetic dreams that Ethereum was going to flash crash when they did their last upgrade several years ago. Well, that didn't happen, right? So maybe this time it will. So, Shiba Inu is one of the main coins that God is using to bless the entirety of his people that are in the wealth transfer or are in the knowledge of what his God is trying to do, right? And that's why it's important for people of God, churches, ministers, leaders, to get into what God is trying to do for his people. It's just as easy as just going in and signing up for Coinbase or something like that and then just purchasing Shiba Inu, right? And just wait. You may not be a swing trader, or you're trying to hit all these different pricing points, and maybe you're just going to sit back and wait for that one pricing point to hit. And I believe that first wave is going to be $1, and I believe that could happen this year. So anyways, folks, that is all that I have for this today. I thank you guys for listening. God bless. TC out.